The mission of the story was really to place the responsibility where it belongs and to call out on the institutions that are there to protect these women but have failed them far too often. Image-based sexual abuse is the least talked about kind of abuse that women are faced with, but also it's one of the most stigmatized and prejudiced. A lot of the times these women who are victims of abuse are made to feel guilty and are made to feel like this abuse is what they deserved. Victim blaming when it comes to image-based sexual abuse is the strongest, I think, because of the nature of how it happens.
It was that in like 2018, 19, there were like some high school students protests that erupted in Kosovo, particularly in Pristina, after a very famous case that paved the way to our investigation of sexual abuse of a minor on school grounds. And what happened next, we really thought that maybe like the best thing is like to focus our investigation on education. And we kind of thought that if we do something on harassment education, then we need to really start from University of Pristina, which is like the most important public institution in Kosovo.
This is a story that you hear about when you're drinking coffee with your friends or with your colleagues. It's talked about in very private spheres, but not very much in public ones. So I think what's important is to listen to these conversations and to really use them to inform the way you approach your research, because the information you get there is key and is the most genuine and honest information, I think. One of the biggest difficulties was that you didn't have a framework, or you didn't have like a blueprint or previous examples. I think the investigating the issue of image-based sexual abuse is a special challenge, in the sense that not many stories are written about digital rights or about women's digital rights, and let alone image-based sexual abuse in this context.
Similarly to Dardan's and our own story, there was like no documentation, no evidence of that before, or a story or a similar research that was done before. We needed a lot of time to kind of build trust with the victim of sexual harassment, who were actually the most valuable sources for the story. And that was like the greatest challenge, because the University of Pristina lacks a support system for victims themselves. I always believe that the Asian traditional journalistic method is like the best one, which is talking to people. And this helps me a lot to identify the victims, but also helped me a lot to identify other sources, which were from the other side.
I like to think that those women feel less alone in this fight, and the name of the image they're experiencing is out there, and those responsible to stand up for these women are named. So I think that's the biggest impact of the story, that it has named the problem in a context where the problem did not even have a name.